Yeah, but Garchuk used swords then. Why would he use a stupid move that doesn't do damage? Oh, there goes my Infernape.
Hello. How are you? Very good. It's amazing to see you. I see you have played some of my favorite characters. Bakura from Yu-Gi-Oh! Bandit Thief, awesome. The other one from Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know that one because I don't have seen the series yet.
Right.
But I will see it. I will. And King Dedede and Edgar Doon. I love that show. Oh, that was amazing. I thought those were two separate people that voiced them, and then I saw you did both. I said, oh, that's amazing. So for my Kirby game, I would love to have an autograph inside here. Sure. If you could do just above Dedede, if that's possible.
Just above Dedede.
If that's possible.
Right here? Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Ja, wat ze er vandaag niet bij.
Great.
Maar die is jouw zorg party nou? Ooit. Je bent eigenlijk een beetje vrij.
Just a
Je kunt
signature,
dingen
right?
doen.
Ja.
Dus ga je 3 dagen hier zijn, dan ga ik 2 dagen. Is gelach alleen maar op de bank te doen. Begrijpelijk. Helder. Niet?
Ja.
Nee, wij hebben nog 2 gasten in de gaminggroep die nog niet bij zijn. Letterlijk één iemand heeft met Margaret geslagen. Dus ik heb gezegd, want ik ga eerst een keer een full body uitspelen. En ik ga die uitspelen. Of je helpt hem door de game. Wil die. Wat een hoer.
So awesome. Thank you.
Ja, wij waren
on the Discord, I know you also played James in one of the first.
Yeah, the first like 7 or so. 5 episodes, something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I told my nephew that someone from Pokemon was coming. He said, "Yeah, I don't have a Team Rocket card, but I said I wanted it on this card, and I think he wanted it right around here."
Okay. And for the character, you want James?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
I think he likes that.
And on the case itself?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Come on, smile for once. Boy.
Boyd Matthews, nice to meet you. Yeah, pleasure.
I wanted to say boy with a D, but that's kind of awkward if I have to explain it like that.
So bad.
Maar nee, je kan wel naar je main character gaan, maar dat boeit niet. Wat je wordt
Yes.
Ja? Mooi.
Yeah,
Er is één random enemy die daar spant.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Gatekeeper to meet you.
Is een eentje.
Have fun today.
Is niet eens
Thank
een
you. I will come to your interview also.
Oh, great.
Maybe today or maybe tomorrow. At least I will come to one of the days.
All right, great.
Alles is steentje en zo. Het is echt niet oké. We zijn met z'n drieën, dat is echt niet grappig. Ik besef, ik speel gewoon een publiek film. Dat is sowieso niet meer.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Het is wel een leuke wapentraditie, maar erg zeker.
That's for my Red Bull supply. Ted Lewis will be delayed with 10 minutes, so don't worry. In the meantime, I will keep on making questions, and you guys especially have to answer my questions to get yourself a can of Red Bull. They say I could give it all away if it is on me, so let's get this party started. Which Pokemon typing is weak to fire? Oh, that was a really impressive over there. Grass. Yes, grass is correct. There were a lot of different correct answers for that question. So now it's going to be a test of speed. Congratulations, this Red Bull is all yours.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lewis. Let's go. Dear Ted Lewis, please go on stage with me. I have a microphone especially for you. Ted Lewis, the man behind the voices of our childhood memories. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Sonic X, and Kirby. If you please welcome me to the front of the stage, take a seat. And then I am giving my mic away to my dear colleague, Bardo, who is gonna prepare the Q&A for us. Dear Bardo, please come onto the stage. Ted Lewis and Bardo, two amazing figures to see on the stage. Please take your seats and start this Q&A off for me, Booyah.
Thank you, and give it up everybody. Thanks. Well, Ted, we meet again.
All right, yes.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
Yes.
What's it like? Your second day in the Netherlands now?
It's been great. I was surprised it's Sunday and it's just as busy as yesterday, and that's always a rare thing. Sundays are usually slower, not the case today.
Especially due to the weather. Oh,
Yes, exactly. I'm surprised more people aren't out enjoying it, but there you go. They're passionate for what they love, so.
It's really hot.
Yeah.
It's not typical Dutch weather, so I warn you.
No, yeah.
If you ever come again, be prepared.
Yeah,
Of course, you had one full day at the Comic Con yesterday.
that's right.
What kind of people did you meet?
Just all kinds of amazing, people, all different ages, and they, like all different shows that I've been on, and it's just lovely to meet so many, passionate and imaginative people. So many people came in with, costumes, and it's just incredible and lovely to meet so many great folks.
All right, what's the most popular show, or people go most for?
I would say here at this convention at Dutch Comic Con, I would say it's Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Yeah, but I've also had people have me sign Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, and a couple of people asked me for Kirby stuff. So yeah, mostly Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Pokemon fan myself.
There you go.
And you told me you never played Pokemon yourself, right?
No.
Oh, why not?
I've never been a gamer. It's never been my thing. I've been too busy reading all the time, So yeah, I know so many people that love, that are gamers and what have you, but I've never been one myself. So yeah.
Well, if you were a gamer, have you thought about which starter you would pick in Pokemon? Are you familiar with the starters?
No.
The
Explain.
three starters basically are, I'm gonna really narrow them down. It's Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur?
Yes.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Why Bulbasaur?
Because Tara Sands voices Bulbasaur, and I adore her, and so I'm gonna do that.
Nice. Which Pokemon have you voiced yourself?
Have I what?
Which Pokemon have you voiced yourself?
Yes, I am best known for voicing Gengar, Snorlax. Let's see. I think those are the two. Also, I did, when I originally did Gengar, it was an episode with Ghastly and Haunter as well. So I did all three of those in one episode early on in the series. Yeah.
And what's the difference between a Ghastly, Haunter, and a Gengar?
Vocally.
Yeah?
Okay. Gengar. Ghastly. Haunter.
That's really good. Give him applause. That's really cool.
Please.
Oh no, that's cool. I mean, you did it on the spot.
Yeah.
And for you, were you familiar with Pokemon before you started voicing the Pokemon?
No, I came into it as did a lot of people that first auditioned for it. It was, we heard there was this show that was very successful in Japan, and they were going to be doing an English dub of it, and so they asked if we'd be interested in auditioning, and we did. And it took off very quickly, and it became a huge thing, but I'd never heard of it before.
It's such a huge thing. I think Pokemon is the only thing that even my father and my grandmother knows.
Yeah, I think so. I think that even if people don't know anything about anime or television, animated TV series and popular series and things like that, Pokemon, I think by now is just kind of it's like The Simpsons. It's like it's in the culture.
It's a household name.
Yes,
Everybody
exactly.
knows it.
It's like a product. Yeah.
How is that for you to be in a typhoon that is so big? There's nothing bigger almost.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. It's sometimes I don't even realize that I was part of kind of a pop cultural touchstone in a certain generation of kids. It's like, when it's like the people that did Star Wars kind of saying, I don't know if it's that big, but still fairly big. And so yeah, it's kind of great to know that I was a part of this thing that affected so many people and that so many young people loved and still love, even as adults, and then they introduce their kids to it. So.
Well, to be fair, I don't want to stroke your ego, but I think it's bigger than Star Wars Pokemon.
It's lasted longer. I mean, it's been like 25 years. It's kind of insane.
And especially like Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, that's right. That kind of like supercharged the whole thing and kind of introduced a whole bunch of other people to. Yeah.
Do you have Pokemon merch yourself at home? Like trading cards, plushies?
I don't. I have I know a lot of Pokemon fans from various people in my life are Pokemon fans, and so I've kind of gone from convention to convention, and I'll buy this one a plushie or that one, whatever. And I have a very good friend who did not realize that I had voiced Pokemon until, we had been friends for 2 or 3 years. And she was just shocked because she was a huge Pokemon fan. And I'll tell you what, I had an original Pokemon cast jacket from the first movie that had been hanging in my closet in New York City for many years. And I just was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this and what have you. And then it was my friend's birthday, and I was like, well, I'm going to give it to her. So I gave her.
No way.
Yes.
As a Pokemon fan, I think you're crazy. That could be your orphan love nowadays, right?
I know. I realized, of course, years after the fact, I realized I could have sold that on eBay for, exactly. But knowing me, I am not a businessman, and so there you go.
And what kind of part did you took in the first Pokemon movie?
I was Giovanni in the first film, and I'm not sure if I did anything else. I think there might have been a Pokemon here or there, but I think it was just Giovanni. It's been a long time. So
can you remember the voice that you did for Giovanni?
I want that Pokemon.
Oh, very dark.
Yeah, sure, very dark. It's a little intense.
And of course, yesterday we talked about it also, but I have to ask it again.
Sure.
Is Giovanni the father of Ash Ketchum? That's the biggest theory out there.
Yes. The secret's out. Yes. We were discussing this the other day. That I don't know about that. I mean, it's a fun thing to speculate. It's very kind of Star Warsy. But who knows? I only voice Giovanni, so maybe that's true, maybe not. Who knows? It's just fun to think about.
And what's it like for you? Because you were especially part of the whole Ash saga.
That's right.
The whole storyline.
Yeah.
And now it has been wrapped up. It's done.
Yeah.
Is it like a black hole for you?
Yes, it's a giant black hole in my life. But it was a strange thing because I went in, I think it might have been at some point, maybe early last year or something, to tell the very last episode of the original storyline. And it was very strange. It was like, going in and I'm like, that's the last, as far as I know, the last time I'll be doing this character. And it was just this strange thing, even as someone who, stepped away from the series for a while. And, I went in every now and then and dubbed Giovanni. But knowing that those characters were done with their story, and they affected so many people's lives. And so it's a little bit wistful to think about. Yeah.
It seems emotional, right?
Yeah.
After 20 years, 25? How about
25, I think.
25.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's crazy.
And for everybody here in the audience, I will be asking questions. Sorry? That's exactly your age.
Well, there you go.
Well, you're the embodiment of
You're a Poke baby.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh,
There you
nice.
go.
And if anybody has a question, just raise your hand and of course, can you come up? I will hand you the mic for a second. Please don't run away with it. Just with the mic. Here you go. There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
My son is a big fan.
Yeah.
I don't know much,
Yeah.
to be honest, but he really would like to be a voice actor.
Oh, okay.
And he was wondering, where do I start?
Yeah, well, that's a question I get a lot. Voiceover actors usually start out as actors in general. So, I would suggest, doing some plays and a lot of us have gone to theater school, but I realize that that's not always something that everyone can do, but there are classes that you can take in voiceover acting. A lot of them these days are done remotely over Zoom, so it's actually easier for people who aren't in big cities to do it. But I would encourage anyone wanting to do it to explore taking a little voiceover class, because I think a lot of folks think that doing voices is just about being able to do funny voices, being a voiceover actor. And it's a little more, there's a little more to it. You have to really kind of understand how to communicate what you're saying and make it sound believable. And so I would suggest that the first thing to do is to maybe take a little class online, and you can, you know, and you can do it over Zoom. So yeah, there are a lot of good
because
classes.
he loves already to sing, and he loves to like do Australian accents and Canadian accent or try things like this. But
If you're a performer, is that you over there? That's you?
yeah, you're sitting with the glasses there.
Yes. Well, I would suggest keep performing, and if you can get into plays, keep singing. That's great, because then you're communicating to people that way, and explore all of your talents. Because you just might be the next Pokemon.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Good luck.
And I also, yesterday, your colleague told me he was running around the house like a madman for practicing his voices. Just doing the dishes with a low voice, and then going to the grocery for a deep voice.
Yeah.
Is that also something that you did? Just walking around the house, practicing all the...
Well, you know, I think that any kid that has an interest in theater and acting or that kind of thing is definitely going to be the kid that's going to be, you know, doing impressions of people on television or in movies, or even, you know, impressions of people in their life, and doing little character voices and stuff like that. And I certainly did a lot of games with my friends in the neighborhood where we would kind of pretend and invent scenarios, and then we kind of act them out. And I was particularly good at that, and also with directing and saying, no, you're not doing it right. So yeah, I definitely did that kind of thing. You know.
Ah, nice. And of course, one more question, because if he has done some workshops in the future somewhere, what is the right step to take? Who should he write? How do you audition for a role? Because
there's, you know, I would suggest, I'm not sure things are kind of run a little differently these days with the internet. It used to be that we would make what would be called a voiceover demo, which was a tape that you could then send to various agents. So I think coming up with you know, recordings of yourself doing commercial copy or certain voices, character voices, things like that. And then looking up certain agents. And there also, too, are places in smaller cities, you know, radio stations, that kind of thing, where you might be able to get work locally doing something on radio or what have you. And so that's kind of a nice way to get your foot in the door as well. So yeah, just kind of search out opportunities, and if you can find a local agent to kind of get some work for you, that's always great too.
So basically practice a lot, do some workshops, make a demo, send it to agents, radio stations, to your neighbors.
Yes, that's right, because you never know.
And how did you get discovered? Because you started out as an actor, right?
Yes, I was an actor. I moved to New York City to go to theater school, and I was working a day job at a record store, and I was in the film department, and I saw someone who I recognized. I didn't know the person, but I knew his face from somewhere, and I had a feeling he might be an actor. And just out of curiosity, I said, because it was kind of driving me crazy, and I said, what do I know you from? Your face looks so familiar to me. And he mentioned that he was an actor and that he'd been on a couple of different television series, and I recognized who he had been on this particular TV show. And he asked me if I was an actor, and I said, yes, I am. And he said that he was doing a lot of English dubs of Japanimation and anime and that kind of thing. And he asked if I was an actor, and he asked all these different questions, and I didn't realize that he was asking me questions in order to get the quality of my voice, because he thought I might be good for a project that he was just about to direct. So I went in and auditioned, and it was the first audition I ever had for a voiceover, and I booked the job, which is very rare, and it's kind of started from there. So it was really really by chance that I wound up doing voiceovers.
What was the project? Where did you get the voice
It
from?
was a straight-to-video series that I know still has some fans today, but it's called Record of Lodos War. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but I remember I played a character named Prince Ato, and yeah, that was the very first job that I had. And then I did one called Here is Greenwood, a bunch of other ones. Really, there were so many that I kind of forgotten.
And of those projects, what was your favorite voice to do?
Well, I would say I loved doing Here is Greenwood. That was kind of like a teenage like drama, like taking place in a private school. But there was also another one called Now and Then Here and There, which was kind of an action drama. And I played a lead character named Ryu. And it was very kind of emotional and dark and intense and what have you. And that was a really great one to do because it kind of allowed me to you know, stretch and do all kinds of things. And it was also different because it was fairly realistic for you know, for anime. It was not, you know, fantasy driven or science fiction driven or anything. It was basically just the story of this kid. And I really loved doing that. That was a favorite.
What did Ryu sounded like? I'm curious.
Rio was basically my voice. It was you know, they just said just do your voice, because I certainly at the time, and I think still now, my voice sounds fairly young. I could do kind of, you know, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds back then. So I think the character might have been about 15 or 16. Now keep in mind, I probably dubbed this when I was 27, 28, you know, so it was a while ago. But I think they just had me use my own voice, so really it was about how well I could act and make the character and the situation believable.
But isn't that boring for you? Just going into the studio with
No, because the material was so good, and the character's story was so fascinating, and there were so many things that he went through and so many different emotional states, and so it was fun to just kind of explore that as an actor playing kind of a realistic dramatic role.
Cool, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And again, if anybody has a question, you have a question?
Yeah.
Come over.
Hello again.
Hello again.
You remember me from yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, after I left, my friend said you should actually ask him if he could do the voices you like. So, can you do a few of the character voices, a few lines?
Well, I can't do the character voices if you're filming, unfortunately. But yes, I didn't do them because you know, I have to be careful as to where the footage goes.
Oh,
you know?
of course.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There's what are your favorite characters?
King Dedede and Kirby.
Okay. So King Dedede would be him. Let's go combat Kirby. All right. And then of course there's Escargot. Yes, sire. Let's go get Kirby.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Great question.
Thank you.
And of course, Kirby, oh wait, another question? Come on over. We're gonna hand you the mic. Here you go.
Since the whole Pokemon story is over, I would like to be initiated to Team Rocket by Giovanni. Is that okay?
Yes, you're hired.
Wow.
Right? That's easy, right? Well, I mean, you know, I might have to. There might have to be a test involved to see exactly how evil you could be, how ambitious, how, you know, just to see how far you would go to get our you know, whatever Pokemon we're looking for. So there might be a test. So you might have to prepare your evil side, and we'll see what happens.
I think that's achievable. I can do that.
Okay, good. Well, we'll let you know.
Thank you.
We'll give you a call.
Really nice. Thank you for the question. Another one. Really nice. Come on over.
What's your favorite anime?
My favorite anime. I'll tell you this. I am a big fan of Miyazaki, So I love films like Howl's Moving Castle and oh gosh, I'm totally blanking now. Howl's Moving Castle. Which one? Spirited Away. That's the one. Oh my God, those two. And I watched one recently called Millennial Actress. It was by a different director who I think died fairly early, and I thought that was just incredible. So yeah, a lot of the feature-length animes are I'm a big fan of.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
And one second, we're going to do 2 more questions in a minute, but you don't watch animated series or anime series?
No, I don't see animated series very much. I'm not a huge, usually if I'm watching television, it's like Netflix or that kind of thing. Yeah, anime, I got sucked into anime in terms of like feature-length films. Yeah, so I'm not much of a big series guy, but more full-length films.
Nice. Is there any part, and then I will hand the mic back over, is there any part in an anime movie that you watched that you were like, oh man, I want to have that role? Then, oh, why didn't they call me?
There's nothing in particular, but I'm sure that there are tons of them that I've watched where I'm just like, wow, it would be amazing to play, to get that opportunity, But there's not any one particular character that I can think of, but many, yeah.
It's really cool. Prepare yourself. I'm going to hand the mic to the Joker.
Okay.
So,
oh yes.
Oh no, here we go.
We're in trouble now.
Come over here. There you go.
You mentioned.
Put that microphone up, okay?
What are some things that you like to do?
Put the microphone closer to your mouth so I can hear you.
You mentioned that you don't watch any anime or game.
Yeah.
What are some things that you do like to do?
I love to read. I love reading. I've just been over the last 2 years or so, 2-3 years, I've just started learning how to play guitar, which is something I've always wanted to do. I paint on the odd occasion. I do some writing. And yeah, so I try to keep myself busy.
Thank you. Great question.
Thank you.
And about all these things, is there anything that inspires you with the voice acting? Just reading a book and you are thinking of a new voice?
Well,
or?
I mean, there are certainly moments where I've been doing a voiceover character where I might think of an old film that I saw. And, there's an old film called All About Eve from the early 1950s. It's a great, great classic film. And there was a character in the film whose name was Addison DeWitt. He was a very sarcastic, acidic critic. And he had he was very arch. And I thought of him a lot when I was doing Bakura. Evil Bakura. So sometimes there are kind of ways that you can, whether it's a television show you saw years ago or a film. So it's usually the things that inspire me the most in terms of creating a voiceover character are probably film and television that I've seen. So kind of taking ideas from this performance, that actor, that kind of thing.
And one more question, then we have 2 more questions I see. Is it also just random in the supermarket that you hear 2 people talking and you're like, oh, that's a great voice? And you repeat it in your head? Or?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, I lived in New York City for many years, and I'd be on the subway. So you'd get a subway or in a store, and sometimes you'd hear, a voice or they'd say something that struck you as funny or bizarre or what have you. And of course, in New York City, there are so many different kinds of people. So a lot of opportunities to hear voices that could inspire you. So yeah.
Very funny. Let's go. Yes. Another question from the audience. Here we go. I like those questions. You guys are way better at this than me.
Hi, first of all, I'm a really big fan.
Oh, great, thank you.
Could you maybe elaborate a bit on the process of getting casted for a role, as in, like, what goes on in the auditions for a role?
Sure. Great question. I think what happens is whomever is producing or directing a series, they, you know, for my experience, because a lot of us actors at the time in New York City that were doing a lot of English dubs of anime, we were all kind of auditioning for the same projects. And so when I was working at 4Kids, which is where Pokemon originated in America, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Kirby and a few other shows, there was a pool of about, 15, 20 actors that worked on a lot of the different shows together. And sometimes a producer or a director might get a new project and say, oh, who I think might be good for this role is Ted Lewis. We'll have him, come in and audition for it. And so we would go in and audition, and sometimes the director would be there and have a suggestion for what to do. Sometimes they would show you the footage from the original Japanese version, which sometimes could be helpful, sometimes not. Because the language is so different that it would be easier to get the energy. That was really the thing that you got from the original more than anything. And they would say, for instance, yeah, this kid is the tough kid in high school. He's really cocky. He's kind of a bully. So you get an idea in your head as to who that guy sounds like. And then you throw things out there and they'd say, try this or try that, or whatever. So it was really kind of, taking suggestions from the director and seeing what might match, and then they would, get a bunch of us on tape and decide which one was the most interesting voice for the character.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question.
One more question, I see. And if, two more. Wait 1 second. I'm going to do it first. I go to you. It's really nice. Here we go. Love the sweater.
Hi, Agam.
Hi.
My name is Montel. I love your series in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Great. Nice. There you go, Jack Atlas, the master of faster.
Yes. Can you do the line of Red Dragon Orphe? Attack, use absolute power force.
Okay. Red Dragon Archfiend, attack! How's that? Yeah?
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
And he has a mouse with him, and you are the whole day here at Comic-Con, right?
Yes, that's right.
Where can people find you if
Yes.
they want to autograph?
If you would like that signed, my friend, if you want your pad signed, I am in the TCG area in Hall 12, and near the Elite Game Store. And I'll be signing until 6 o'clock if you want that signed, if you're interested. There you go. All right.
There you go. Oh, he will be coming. There's another question, right there. I like these. It's really nice. Here we go. Just fire away.
First, I want to say that I'm a huge fan of your role of Jack Atlas as well.
Oh, great. Thank you.
I also have this
Wonderful.
But there's one thing I was very curious about, and it's actually about your role, your brief role as James.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, for the first few episodes of Pokemon, you voiced James from Team Rocket.
Correct. Yes.
I wanted to know the story behind how Eric Stewart ended up taking the role eventually.
He stole it. No, I'm kidding. No, I was cast as James. I did the first, I would say 5 or 6 episodes, and Pokemon was a new thing. We didn't realize how big it was going to be, and I had a very good friend who was a playwright and had written a play specifically with me in mind to play one of the lead characters. And she said, oh, I'm going to be doing a workshop of this play in Kentucky this summer. Do you want to come and do it? And I said, fantastic, it's a new play, I'd love to do it. And so I went and did a play that unfortunately no one's heard of. But, we didn't know how big Pokemon would be, so I left to do the play, and there's history for you. It became Eric Stewart's role.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Really great. I didn't miss anybody, right? No more questions for about now, right? And for you, playing, for example, Jack Atlas in Yu-Gi-Oh! Did you knew, because he's really big in a niche. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a niche. But what's it like for you? Just popping out another character that almost everybody knows. I'm a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! fan, so
Yeah, well, it's again, it's a strange thing. We do these voices, we do these characters, and and we never know if they're going to catch on or not. You know, sometimes we do a series and it might last for just a year, and you know, it might not grab viewers. And sometimes we do a series and there you go, it's the next big thing. So it's really always by chance. You know, I think if you look through all of television history, if you look at even the greatest shows in the history of television, some more great movies, people go in and they do their job and they do it as well as they can, and they never really, no one ever thinks at the time, well, this is going to be big. You know, I was just having a conversation the other day with someone about Star Wars, and how they, you know, showed an early print of Star Wars to a bunch of studio executives, and they said, oh, this is just going to be a flop. You know, so you just never know. So, and that's true for even, you know, doing character voices.
That's really cool. Just for the final round, because it is true, I want to write down everything that you did, but it is so much, I couldn't fit it onto one paper. Could you give us a few more voices? For example, you said Snorlax.
Oh yeah, there's Snorlax. Let me see if I can do that. That's Snorlax.
Yes. Nice.
Let's see.
You already did King Dedede, of course.
Yes, that's right.
That's
and there's Bakura. Welcome to the Shadow Realm. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Nice.
And yeah, those are the biggest ones.
Well, thanks a lot. Once again, people, if you want to meet him yourself, Ted, you really are a great guy, so please come visit him.
Yes.
Hall 12.
Hall 12 in the TCG area at, near the Elite Game Store booth. So I'll be signing there until 6 o'clock this evening.
So everybody, give it up for Ted.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks a lot, Ted. And please stay seated, because in a minute we will have Matthew Sussman, the original voice of Meowth, right here on stage, also doing another Q&A. So we'll be back in just like 1 or 2 minutes.